9 and 10. So in this Unit 7 is Classical Approach by Henry Fayol, Gulick and Urwik. The Unit 8 is about Scientific Management by F.W. Taylor. Unit 9 is Approaches of Bureaucracy by Max Weber and Karl Marx. And Unit 10 is Human Relations Approach by Elton Mayo. So now we will start with Unit 7, Classical Approach, Henry Fayol, Gulick and Urwik. So now when we talk about this classical approach, what is the importance of this approach and why we are discussing this classical approach? The basic concept contribution we can say that this discusses the contributions of Henry Fayol, Gulick and Urwik, where their contributions are noteworthy in formulating certain principles for the working of the organization, that is through practical methods and through experimental, that is through the observations and through the practical methods or the experiments which have to be done. So this explains us, the classical approach explains us about the working of the organization. It explains us about the organizational structure and the principles of organization, how the organization has to work on. Now, this classical approach, the father of classical approach is Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol is regarded as the father of the classical approach. Now, when we talk about this classical approach, first we will talk about Henry Fayol. And Henry Fayol, we all he comes out. Henry Fayol comes out with six activities for the working of the organization. That is, the organization cannot work without these six activities. That are the activities means the most important components, we can say, the most important components for an organization to work. Now, when we talk about this organization, the working of the organization cannot run itself, cannot work on itself. So many activities are involved whereby it helps the organization in achieving the organizational goals. So what are these six activities? Those are, the first one is technical, second is commercial, third is administrative, fourth is financial, fifth security, and sixth is accounts. So overall, we can say that it is all about, when we talk about an organization, now that organization has many departments in it. That is the production department. In a simpler terms, we can say that it is about the departments, the components which help the organization. Without any of the component, the organization cannot work on. So these are considered to be the most important activities. So the production, it can be, we can simply take in the simpler terms, that is about the production, marketing, finance, human resources, that these all can be the major concepts of. And in the finances, we can talk about the accounting procedures, all these things. And the security, the job securities, it might be the worker security, social securities, these all can be discussed. So these six activities help the organization, as we can take that without the production team or without the production, what all the organization cannot go on, or the organization cannot work in a simpler manner. So these Henry Fayol explains us that these six activities these comprise the importance or the working of the organization. So and he also explains that according to his work, he also explains that the organization has the most important managerial functions. Now we all know that a manager in an organization or a person, the managing all the activities, the managing how a manager works on bringing everybody onto one platform and to reach the organizational goal. Now, when we talk about this manager, he has to work on many things, many parameters. So for that, he has to have some important functions to be performed, that are, the first one can be planning. He has to plan. He Planning is a mental process, that is, he has to the manager has to plan accordingly, that what has to be done, it has to be done, all this. So that can be termed as a planning process. Then organizing, bringing everything, all the it can be workers, it can be material, it can be the schedules of the workers, everything onto organizing the system. Then we can say coordination, the better understanding. The managerial function is to coordinate with one another, and to remove the misunderstandings and collaborate with one another. Then commanding is delegation of duties. We can say giving them work and have a command nature to make the work done. Then controlling is under we can say that controlling is bringing everybody and making them work in a prescribed format, in a controlled system, in a controlled format. These can be the managerial functions. So the Henry Fayol explains all these in the working of the organization, because each and every aspect plays a very important role. If there is no coordination, then no worker will work properly, and there will be more chances of misunderstandings. Then the work ethics will not be entertained. Then they cannot work in a very efficient manner. So each and every aspect plays a very important role. So that and he the Henry Fayol also explains this all, the working of the organization, and he breaks down them into 14 principles. 14 principles, and they are termed as the general principles of the organization. General principles means everywhere in every organization, these principles have to be followed, for which they can achieve the organizational goals. So, to name a few of these principles, we will take the first one is division of work. The work has to be divided equally to all the workers to whereby get the things done in a stipulated manner. That is the first, we can say, division of work. Then we have the second, authority, discipline, scalar chain, unity of command, the centralization and decentralization, unity of direction, order. These are the few 14 principles. These are the few amongst the 14 principles which are explained by Fayol, whereby he tries to generalize these principles in such a manner that each organization brings about in working of the system. So next is about, we talk about Gulick and Urvik. Gulick has also, now Gulick, Urvik and Fayol, these are the three important social scientists who have come about in the contributions, who have given out the contributions for the working of the organization, how the organization has to work on. So the Gulick also came up with 10 important principles, and those 10 important principles can be termed as the universal principles of organization. Universal principles of organization. And to name a few of this, they are division of work and specialization, basis of department organizations, coordination through hierarchy, delegation, coordination through committees, deliberation coordination, unity of command, line and staff, and span of control. These are the 10 universal principles which were proposed by Gulick. Luther Gulick. Then Luther Gulick and Urwik, both of them, they have come up and summoned all these administrative actions onto, we can say, onto a one acronym termed as POSTCORP, POSDCORB, POSTCORB, all are capitals. P for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordinating, and R for reporting, B for budgeting. So this is a very important acronym. This POSTCORB is an acronym, because acronym means it's a full form. That is, we have to, this is an abbreviation where the abbreviation stands for this POSTCORB, where it explains planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. This explains us about the administrative actions of the organization. Next, we have the Urwik's principles. Urwik has also come up with eight principles of the organization. And he explains that the most important ones are about the scalar principle, principle of coordination, principle of organization of goals, organizational goals, principle of correspondence, principle of specialization, principle of responsibility, and principle of definition. These are the important principles which were put forward by Gulick. Now, we will here we can say one thing we can conclude from this theory is the classical approach explains about three important contributions or three social scientist contributions towards the working of the organization, towards the reaching of the organizational goals, and they have come up with the principles, general principles, universal principles, whereby giving out the how should the organization work in a very efficient and effective manner. So in this, we can say that their contributions are a milestone in the working of the organization in achieving the organizational goals. Then we will move on to the next unit, that is a scientific management by F.W. Taylor. In classical approach, Henry Fayol is regarded as a father of classical approach. Okay, and now when we talk about scientific management, this theory was propounded by or proposed by F.W. Taylor, and he is considered as a father of scientific management. Father of scientific management is F.W. Taylor. And the term scientific management was coined by Louis Brandeis. Louis Brandeis has coined the term scientific management, and this term scientific management was used by F.W. Taylor and has come up with the theory of explaining what is scientific management all about. So now in this theory, scientific management, F.W. Taylor identifies the social problems, the basic social problems of his day as we can say about efficiency. That is, way back in the industrial revolution, way back when the industrial revolution was there, we can also say that the origin of scientific management theory is considered to be a major breakthrough in the industrial management because of the industrial revolution, where and it has led to the World War I also. And in all these aspects, scientific management, F.W. Taylor explains us about the efficiency of the workers. How because as the work hours are increased, the efficiency of the workers comes down. The What is efficiency? Efficiency is the input what the employee gives to the, or we can say the contribution of the worker towards the production of the organization. That is, if our piece of metal has to be manufactured, each employee puts his man hours in a qualitative manner and in a quality manner. If the quality does not come out, then the outcome also will not be in a proper manner. So efficiency is all about the quality of output what the workers brings out in delivering the goods. So in this scientific management, Taylor explains us about this, that the scientific management helps. He helps in bringing out some of the parameters, or he tries to discover some of the basic principles which will help the organization in implementation of these principles in bringing about more efficiency in the organization, or we can say more productivity in the organization. And because, as we all know, in industrial organizations, more of physical labor is involved, and this physical labor is directly proportional to the performance of the employee. When the physical labor is not good, then automatically the performance levels come down, whereby efficiency decreases. So, here in this scientific management, like F.W. Taylor comes out with some of the important principles, and those are the most important principles we can discuss are development of science of work, then scientific selection and progressive development of the worker. Third is bringing of the science and scientific related and trained workers. Fourth is division of work and responsibility between the management and the workers. And that is, he overall, when we talk about these principles, he tries to explain or he tries to deliver that the relationship between the worker and the management and the division of work and responsibility taken up by the management should be very cordial enough, and the workers should be, second point is the workers should be trained before allotting them the work, because if they are not being trained, then they may not be able to give about proper efficiency or proper performance. So the workers have to be trained, and moreover, he also tries to explain the progressive development of the worker. Progressive development means the worker has to be progressive. He has to be motivated. The motivation has to be given, whereby which increases the morale of the employees. That is, morale means the self-confidence of the employees, whereby creating or giving a scope for more developmental aspects. So, if we conclude what is scientific management, in this scientific management, the father of scientific management is F.W. Taylor, and he explains us about the efficiency of the worker who is working in the organization. And he explains that if the efficiency of the worker has to be increased, then the management has to bring about some changes in the in the industry or in the organization to improve the efficiency. Then we will move to the next topic, that is bureaucratic approach by Max Weber and Karl Marx. Now, these two scientists have explained about the bureaucracy, that is the now in this, the Max Weber is considered or is regarded as the father of the bureaucratic approach, why? Because he has come formulated the concept of bureaucracy. He has come up with the concept of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means, bureau means desk job, or the, so here he explains us, or he is known for the ideas about bureaucracy. He explains us about the working of the civil servants, or he explains us about the working of the government officials. So we can say that, and here this term bureaucracy, here the term bureaucracy was coined by, Do de Gournay. Do de Gournay has coined this the term bureaucracy. Now, the in this bureaucracy, what Max Weber tries to explain? Max Weber tries to explain about, or he focuses on, or you can say he emphasizes on three important aspects, that is the power, authority, and control. Power, authority, and control. Because if a person has power, if that person has power, authority, and control, then only he can make the things work. Now, for example, here we are talking about bureaucrats or bureaucracy, government officials. That is, nowadays, in simpler terms, we can talk about the civil servants. Civil servants might be the IAS officers, or the top civil servants. So, who have in them the control, authority, and power. So with these three only, he explains that these three are very, very important for the working of the system, for the working of the government. And he also explains about the most now to we can say that according to Max Weber, a bureaucracy is an administrative body of appointed officials. So, in simple terms, to understand what is bureaucracy, what is Max Weber's bureaucracy, his view on this bureaucracy is an administrative body of appointed officials. And he focuses, or he emphasizes more on authority, the concept of authority, because if you don't have authority to work or to make the people work, then there is no concept of power or the control. If you don't have the authority to delegate duties, to authority to guide them, so it is the other two cannot be explained in a proper manner. So power, authority, and control, we should go hand in hand. But he explains more about authority, how it gives about. Then to explain this, the authority, he has come about three important types of authority. They are, the first one is traditional authority, second is the charismatic authority, and third is legal rational authority. Now, the traditional authority is about following. He explains that if the civil servants follows old age methods, customs, then will they be able to take decisions in a proper manner? So he rules out that traditional authority cannot be used or cannot be put in practice. So he rules out this traditional authority. And second is charismatic authority. What do we understand by the term charismatic authority? Charisma means influencing people, attracting people. For example, Gandhiji attracted many people, leadership qualities. But can we say that every person can become a leader? Can every person, can every administrative officer, or can every government official be influential person, or can he be influence people to, or can he attract people? No, he cannot. So he ruled out, Max Weber ruled out the charismatic authority as well. So the third one is legal rational authority. What do we understand by the term legal rational authority? Legal rational authority explains about following of rules and regulations, abiding by the laws. That is, as per the laws and following the rules and regulations, every civil servant, every bureaucrat can work in a very efficient manner and can exercise his authority, exercising his authority, because rules cannot be, the laws are equal to everybody, rules and regulations are equal to everybody, and if any rules are being broken, then everybody will be equal before the law. So, and everybody can be punished. So, he says that the legal rational authority is the most important concept of authority which has to be followed, which has to be followed by the bureaucrats. So here he says, and he comes out with many important characteristics also, many important attributes. To name a few, we can take up hierarchy. Hierarchy is each government official placed in the ladder, or in the ladder, that is in the one by one person, whereby based on their work, based on their designation and the delegation of work what is being given to them. So based on these concepts, that is hierarchy, equity, all these are different types of attributes or the characteristics of legal rational authority. Then we have Karl Marx. Karl Marx is Max Weber and Karl Marx are both of them have explained about the bureaucracy only. Now, when we talk about Karl Marx is a economist, sociologist, and a revolutionist. We all know about Karl Marx, Das Kapital. That is a famous writings of him, and he was a big revolutionist as well. And to conclude his work on bureaucracy, he explains that, well, Karl Marx explains that bureaucracy plays the role of a link between the civil society and the state. Here, bureaucracy, as we know, is the government officials. So he says that the government officials have a very important role to play, as they are the link between the civil society and the state. That is, the between the government and the citizens. The connecting link between the citizens and the government is the bureaucrats or the government officials. So he explains in a very beautiful manner the relationship and the existence of these bureaucrats. Then the last one, last unit is human relations approach. In the human relations approach, this approach was being proposed by Elton Mayo. Elton Mayo, and he is regarded as the father of human relations approach, and he came up with some Mayo's work is mostly based on the analysis on the level of performance of a person depending upon the motivation and mental framework. That is, motivation and mental framework of the worker working in the organization. And he explains more about the and comes out with some of the important we can say analysis, the major analysis about of Elton Mayo are: the first one is workers are human beings. As we are talking about human relations approach, means first of all, the organization should consider the worker to be as a human being. Means the worker should be considered as a human being and not as a machine. That is a very important one. Then the second is the organization works not only on formal relations. Formal relations is, that is, a worker and a manager, or the management and the worker, that is a employer and employee. About that also a relationship should exist. Then the third one is workers need job satisfaction. If there is no job satisfaction, if the worker does not go to the organization with enthusiasm, with lovingness, then he may not be able to work for the organization. And the next one is, he explains that workers want freedom. The workers need freedom. They have to have freedom to work. The workers, that is, they have to work in a very simpler manner. That is, they have to be given independence to work. With that, the creativity might come out, and more of efficiency and effectiveness can be seen in the workers. Then the last one is, workers do not like conflicts. Workers do not like conflicts. That is, there should be no conflicts. That is, there should be no scope for misunderstandings. There should be no scope for bias or favoritism. All this, that if this all are not be, or we can say if these all are not existing, then the worker will be very happy to work on. The worker will be very happy to work on. So here human relations approach, in this human relations approach, Max Weber, the human Elton Mayo comes out with three important experiments which which explains the human relations in a very, very elaborate manner. The first one is the illumination experiment. Illumination experiment, it can be also termed as the Hawthorne experiments or Hawthorne studies. Then the second one is the spinning mill experiment. Then the third one is a bank wiring experiment. These are the three important experiments which were being conducted by Elton Mayo, whereby he tried to explain that how human relations are important. Informal interactions between the workers will give about more performance about the working of the organization, we can say. And he conducted these three experiments in a very, very elaborate manner, whereby explaining about the each and every concept about the working of the system, whereby he explains that formal interactions can give results, but to get better results, informal interactions, talking to each other, interaction with one another might give about, or he explains that might give about more better results compared to the formal interactions. So this is all about the human relations approach proposed by Elton Mayo. So in this today's class, we have discussed about the classical approach proposed by Henry Fayol, the Luther Gulick, and Urwig. And these three social scientists tried to explain about the general principles of the working of the organization, how the organization should work on. Then the second one was about the scientific management by F.W. Taylor. He explained about the bringing about more efficiency in the workers and increasing their performance. Then third, we discussed about the Max Weber and Karl Marx theory of bureaucratic approach, where they explained about the working of the government officials and the concept of authority. And Max Weber has explained about the legal rational authority. Then we have the last one, the human relations approach as well, where he explains us about the human relations are more important in the working of the organization. And he explains that informal organizations, informal interactions between the workers also will increase the performance of the workers. So this is all about these five topics. That is the four topics, sorry. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, everyone. Suddenly, I was offline. So, I'll be continuing as I was explaining you about the human relations approach. Now, to conclude or to discuss about the human relations approach by Max Weber, Hilton Mayo's human relations approach, as I was discussing about the three important experiments which were being proposed by Elton Mayo. We will be discussing each one of them, and we will try to understand what actually he means about the informal interactions, or how important, and how did he try to explain about the we can say the relations, how important human relations are for the working of the organizations. So, in that regard, he first of all he explained he Max Elton Mayo conducted first experiment in a mule spinning mill. Now, this mule spinning mill, this mill was in the place of Philadelphia. In this place, and an organization in it was a spinning mill, the spinning mill organization. In a organization, the management could see that there was very low productivity and more of absenteeism being seen. That is, in one sector or in one department, there was 250% of absenteeism was observed. That is, the workers were reluctant to work, the workers were not interested to work, the workers were not interested to come to the organization, and if they come also, they were not giving out their 100% for the organization. And these all things had made the organization or that spinning mill into losses, or that organization had gone into losses. So, with as we all know that if one organization does not work proper in an organization, if the one department does not work properly, then automatically there will be the influence will be on the other departments as well. So the overall performance of that spinning mill was they could encounter that there is more of absenteeism being observed, and that started to influence and reflect the other departments as well. And seeing that this department, many other departments also tried to follow, and more of absenteeism could be. With that, what happened that ultimately there was a huge loss for this. So this management has approached the Elton Mayo, and he and requested him to come out with some solutions for the working of the organization to earn profits for the organization. So Elton Mayo observed the working of the organization, the working of the employees, the work culture, the nature of work, the schedules of the work, and the interactions of the workers, everything he observed. And he came up with simple solutions, small and very simple solutions. The first and foremost one he introduced was he started to give 5 minutes break for the employee, the workers. That is, the workers were being given 5 minutes of break. Then later on, this 5 minutes of break, which was given to these workers, If for every 1 hour, every 2 hours, 5 minutes break was given to them. Then suddenly, slowly, the workers started to increase their performance, started to increase their interactions, started to increase their productivity, performance. Slowly the absenteeism reduced. The people started to work very efficiently. The workers started to show enthusiasm in working. All this can be seen in a very short period of time. Means every 1 hour he started to introduce 5 minutes of break. Now we might get a question, why did he do this? Why did he come up with this? Then when we talk about this, he in this 5 minutes, of break, the workers came together. The workers came together and started to interact with one another. Started to interact with one another informally. Informally means in an indirect way, saying hi, hello to everybody, or talking to each and everybody in a very polite manner, introducing each and everybody in an informal way, not in a formal manner. That as a colleague is a formal manner, but as a co-worker or as a friend who is working with the same system. So, with this informal interaction between one and another has given better results, because for example, present scenario, if we take now, if the manager comes out, calls for a meeting, and if he raises some questions, everybody will be frightened enough, and they might not be able to give out their output in a very proper manner. They might not be able to give out about their work in a proper manner. So with that, what happens is they may not be able to work in a very, very efficient manner. So this has given, we can say this has, whereby if that manager only, if he tells the subordinates who are working underneath him, come, let's have a small cup of tea outside the organization. We will have a chat together in a cafeteria, then with outside the organization, then the subordinates might open up to their person, because it's an informal interaction. There they might talk as friends and not as a superordinate and a subordinate. So with this, the workers or the employees also will free, relieved, and they will also try to come out with their pain or agony or whatever they are seeing. With that, what happens? There will be more scope for interactions. With this, what happens? The manager will come to know about the hardships or the pain what the his subordinates are going through, and he will try to address them, because addressing those things will give about better results. So the first and foremost thing here, he has introduced, Elton Mayo has introduced this concept of giving breaks. With that, informal interactions between the workers has created friendship amongst the workers, and whereby creating friendship, everybody started to interact with one another and started to understand each other, whereby understanding the work as well. So this was the first and foremost experiment, whereby he explained that informal interactions, and this has showed better results, and 100% we can say 100% the people, the workers came out with more of attending the workplace and giving better results. So this was the first and foremost, we can say, the experiment which was conducted. Then the second important experiment is the Hawthorne studies. Hawthorne studies is this study was conducted in an Western electric company. It is an electricity generating company, and in an Hawthorne, the place name is an Hawthorne, and in that Western Electric Company, where and he selected this company, and the most important part of this experiment is the Elton Mayo has chosen 25,000 female workers for this experiment. So he has chosen for the 25,000 female workers, and in this female workers, what did he do with these workers, and how did he come up with this experiment? He has divided this 25,000 female workers into two groups, A group and B group, and he has placed group A workers in one room, and in group 2, group B workers in another room, and he provided all the necessary facilities to both the groups in that room. One thing he missed out, or he tried to avoid, is in one room he had given electricity and illumination, that is the electricity, and in another room he did not give electricity, he did not provide electricity to the other room, and remaining everything was common, everything was same. And to his surprise, and he has given some work to them, and after completion of the experiment, to his surprise, both of them came up with the same amount of work, same amount of work. With that, he concluded saying that if there is an informal interaction, when there is an informal interaction between the people, without rules and regulations, without norms, then being only human beings, interaction, increasing self-confidence of one and another, increasing motivational factors, understanding one and another, he explained beautifully, saying that if because of this personal interactions, understanding each others, having coordination and cooperation with one another, has given better results, has given better results. So we can say that this will give more of scope for better understanding of the organization. So this was a second important experiment which was a breakthrough in his studies of human relations approach, where he tried to explain that in informal relations also play a very, very important role in the working of the organization and in the addressing the organizational goals. So that was a very, very important concept. Then third one is he came up with the third experiment known as a bank wiring room. In bank wiring room also he tried to explain, and in whereby he introduced. Now here one of the important point to remember here is he had put some people, some workers in one room, and he introduced these workers who are not known to each other. Means one person from each person was not known to each other, means they were not working under one organization, nor they were working in the same system, or they were not from the same community or the same field. So one was we can say he was a wiring he expert. One was a connection providing expert. Like that, many of them who did not have the same work culture, work nature. And when he introduced each one of them into that, these all unknown persons also, the outcome was same. The outcome was same. Means he tried through this experiment, he explained that if the people are unknown to each other also, if they are put together informally and bring about the formal decision, then informal interactions will give better results. That is, he explained the importance of human relations. He explained us the importance of human relations. He explained about the beauty of human relations, how human relations are very, very important. So he tried to explain in a very, very beautiful manner about human relations. But to the surprise that this human relations approach had some criticisms as well. When some criticisms were being given to this human relations approach to Elton Mayo as well, where the most important criticism he got is that if the workers are being given informal interactions, then there will be no system of hierarchy, or that is, there is a limitation of a subordinate and a superordinate, that a subordinate should always respect the superordinate, and the superordinate should delegate duties or to the subordinate. If there is an informal interaction, then there will be no scope for there is no scope for that formal interaction. Critics say that there will be no scope for that importance of the work culture. That is, they might not take the work seriously which is being assigned to by them to by his superordinates, because they might feel that, oh, no problem. The superordinate is our person only. If we don't do today, we can do it tomorrow, as he is our friend only. So this is a major criticism what the human relations approach has got. So this we can say that this was a major thing of what human relations approach has received. Now, one of the student has asked about the important questions, which uh, I will not tell you the important questions, but I'll try to give you an overall view about the important topics which are very, very important, I can say. So, if you talk about block one, the need and importance of public administration is very important. We can say the evolution of discipline of public administration, and the relationship of public administration is also very important, because how public administration is related to other social sciences. That is, it might be how it is public administration is related to economics or law or the political science, history, all these subjects. So that is very important. Then in Oriental approach as well, we have two, that is a Kautilya Saptanga theory is very important. And in classical approach, we can also discuss about the Fayol's theory is important. F.W. Taylor's theory is important because from each these theories are very very important. And the in behavioral approach, as I told you, Elton Mayer's human relations approach is very very important. Abraham Maslow's is also very important. Then ecological and social justice approach also, in that we have the administrative ecology by F.W. Ricks, and social justice approach by B.R. Ambedkar and Jyotirao Phule. Both social justice approach is also very very important. Uh, the explanations of the of, we can say, Ambedkar regarding the social justice is very important. So now, as I'll try to give an overall view of the remaining topics, that is what all these topics all about. Now, the unit 11 is behavioral approach by Chester Bernard and Simon. That is Herbert Simon. Now, this behavioral approach is mainly both of these scientists talk about the decision making. Decision making, that is how decision making is important in an organization, and how the decision making is influenced, and how decision making value and facts are important in the decision making process. So the decision making, the overall concept of this behavioral approach is focuses on the decision making, where, when, how, why. These questions have to be answered. Then we have the next topic, that is the socio-physiological approach. In that we have Abraham Maslow, McGregor, Douglas McGregor, and Rensis Likert. Here, Maslow's theory explains us about the hierarchy of needs, where he explains about the needs of a human being in his lifetime, and he places them in an pyramid like structure, that is where the basic needs of an human being are, and he divides them into two types of needs: lower needs and upper needs. The lower needs are the basic needs of a person, that is, and he came up with five important needs that are called as hierarchy of needs, or the needs of hierarchy. Now, here, the first and foremost basic need is the physiological need. Physiological need is we can take hunger, sleep, food, shelter, and we can say clothing, because these are the three important basic needs of every individual, or every human being. Without food, a person cannot survive. Without shelter, a person may not be able to survive. And proper clothing is also very important. So he says that these are the three important basic needs of a human being, and he terms them as the basic physiological needs. Then the second one is security needs. He says that after satisfaction from that, a person, if he is full, his stomach is full, if he is having proper house to stay, and if he is having proper clothing to wear, then he will try to go for next level of needs. That is, I should have I should protect myself from natural calamities. I should have I should protect from fire. I should protect myself from the thieves and everything. That is the we can say the where job security. I should get a job and I should earn money. This is the security need. Then when he gets job, when he has that security, then he will try to move and he will aspire for more needs, more. That is, the next need is a social need. Social need, here he tries to have a family, tries to maintain relationships, where he tries to make friends to interact because he cannot live alone. He wants somebody to talk, somebody to understand him, somebody to have a better relation. So he will move to the next need. Third need is social need. Then, when he has a family, when he has friends to interact, then he will think about the next need, that is the esteem need. Esteem need means esteem need is also called as recognition need, where he tries to feel that now everybody should recognize me. If I go to a party, everybody should know me, everybody should wait for me, everybody should recognize me. That is another need. So then, when people start to recognize you, when people start to know you, then you will try to move to the another need, where that is known as self actualization need. Self actualization need is the last need of the hierarchy, where the person will, when he knows that everybody is recognizing him, when he knows that he has a better family, better, then he sees that when his stomach is full, he will feel that these are not important now. I should take up challenges in life. I should take up challenges in life. I should take up more risk in life, and he tries to have more meaningful to his life. So for that, the best examples we can take is is Gandhi ji or Nehru, who have gone for taking up challenges. That is, they have gone for Ambedkar. We can take, where these all important personalities, they have gone taking up challenges in life, that is opposing the Britishers, coming out with better rules and regulations, framing the constitution for better living. That are the challenges, taking challenges for better life for the other people, means accepting challenges for providing better life to others. That is the self actualization need. That is a very important topic. Then we have the last one, that is ecological and social justice. In this, here they explain us. Here they explain us about Fredericks, Riggs is considered as a father of this ecological approach. Father of this ecological approach, and here he tries to explain public administration, and he tries to compare ecology with public administration. Ecology is the ecosystem. Ecosystem, that is food chain. Means, if we all know what is food chain, that is a rat, a small frog is eaten by a snake. A snake is eaten by a peacock. A peacock is eaten by a carnivorous animal, that is a lion or a tiger. So, with that, what happens is, that is, for their survival, each one of them is being given its role to play in the nature, to balance the nature. If there is no snake, then snakes are not there, then more of population of frogs might be more. So then if there are no peacocks, then the number of population of snakes might go up. Likewise, to balance the nature, to balance the ecology, ecosystem, the food chain is very important. Likewise, in administration also, that each one of them is very important. Their roles and responsibilities are very, means each one of them is has to be assigned their responsibilities and duties to perform their activities in a better manner. Then, when we talk about Ambedkar and Jyotirao Phule, we all know that Ambedkar and Jyotirao Phule have fought for. When we talk about Ambedkar, he has fought for untouchability as he belonged to a Dalit family. What is he fought for untouchability? That is abolition of untouchability, and he framed the constitution. He drafted the constitution, and in that he has introduced the reservation system, whereby giving an opportunity to the backward classes of the community. It might be the backward classes, BCs, or the scheduled caste, or the scheduled tribes, or the economically backward sections. They're giving them an opportunity to prove themselves in the society and to have better education. And moreover, Ambedkar also strived for women empowerment, women education. So these are the most important contributions of Ambedkar, and as well as Jyotirao Phule also. As when and Jyotirao Phule's wife, Savitri Bai Phule, is being considered as the first teacher to in a woman who has come out with and has contributed for women education and women empowerment, and has started many schools and colleges for women education. Means women empowerment was, as they were practicing, we know in olden days they were practicing sati and child marriages. So, Jyotirao Phule and Savitri Bai Phule and Raja Ram Mohan Roy, all these eminent personalities, they fought for women empowerment, women education, and also worked for the weaker sections of the society. So, this is all about the social justice approach by B.R. Ambedkar and Jyotirao Phule. So, this is all about today's class. Thank you.